Hi everyone, Melanie here. Hope you're all doing well, and I'm back. Took some time off from putting some videos online because I was busy, but I'm here now and back on form, feeling healthy. How is your time in quarantine, everyone? Is it all right? Well, you got some videos to cheer you up, even though the nature of the videos is not exactly cheerful. But hey, I'm going to get you through these dark times. Thank you for all the emails. Keep them coming. I'm still working my way through them, so apologies if I haven't replied back to you yet. I wanted to make a video just to say, hey, I'm still alive. And also I want to address some of the questions that I'm getting emailed. And one main thing that keeps popping up in my inbox, one question I often am being repeatedly asked is, what did I do wrong? Could I have done something different? Could I have done something different to salvage the relationship? What did I do wrong is probably one of the top questions I get asked by my clients. I get asked in emails that get sent to me. And obviously I'm not in the relationship, so I can't tell you exactly what you did wrong, but I want to share my input about ruminating about past relationships with someone with BPD and how this actually isn't serving you. So let's crack on with it, shall we? It is absolutely normal to be thinking along these lines of what did I do wrong after a relationship breaks down if you weren't the one who instigated it, if your partner or ex-partner now left you. A healthy relationship is with people who are able to take responsibility, are able to take accountability, are able to admit where cause and effect has happened, and to admit, okay, I did contribute towards this. Thinking along the lines of where did I go wrong, it serves us. It serves us in that it makes us pause and reflect on our behavior and to think, okay, this happened, I did this, he or she did that. What can I do differently now so that the same mistakes don't happen in future relationships? This helps us to adjust our behavior, take a look at ourselves, have a look at our own projections, have a look at our own defense mechanisms. It's a real eye-opener when we come out of a relationship. Even just your normal functional relationship, it's still an eye-opener. And as such, thinking these things about what could I have done differently, what did I do wrong, it serves us in that we can make changes and then ideally apply it to the next relationship or to other friendships or whatever relationships. It's helpful for us. The problem with asking, what did I do wrong to my BPD ex, however, is that it's always your fault. You did this to me. You are to blame. These are common things that a BPD ex-partner will say to you when you ask them, well, what did I do wrong? Not just people with BPD, NPD. It's an external locus of control. And it's not just people with personality disorders who have this. What this means to have an external locus of control, meaning that outside forces make me do the things that I do. Outside forces make me think, make me feel these things. It's never my fault. It's always your fault. It's always someone else's fault. So it is the most frustrating thing when you're trying to have an honest conversation with someone about, look, I want to understand fully why this broke down, what my role to play in this was so that I can do things better, whether it's with this person or with, the next relationship. Asking someone who has BPD, what did I do wrong, is an invitation to have everything blamed on you. Literally everything is blamed on you. You are the reason why he or she did these things. Because of you, of course. It's not true, by the way. It is futile trying to get closure from someone who has BPD. Part of getting closure is figuring out the role that you played in the demise of the relationship. Questions like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? These are all kind of normal questions to ask. But when you're asking it to someone with BPD, it's an invitation to have the knife just stabbed a little bit deeper in front of you and the knife twisted a bit more. Because it's always your fault. You did this. You did this to me. I wasn't like this before. You did this. Oh, I don't have these issues with my new partner. It's all on you. You are the reason that I behaved in this way. You are the reason why I said these things and did these things. It's always going to be like this. They have an external locus of control. And it's not just people with BPD. You find it people with NPD. And you know what? You also find it with people who don't have a personality disorder, who are just very, very immature people who haven't really developed yet. Always blaming other people for how they are. Now, this is the most frustrating part of talking with someone with BPD, someone that you had a really good connection with, someone who adored you, someone who loved you, someone who elevated you. And now you are the reason that he or she feels this way. It's quite a head fuck to hold all this and try to figure this out. So you asking yourself, what could I have done differently? What did I do wrong? It's normal. It's normal because you're trying to make sense out of this illogical, nonsensical relationship. And you're not going to get sense by talking about this with him and her. Instead, you will likely just keep getting blamed. It's different when someone has traits, someone who perhaps has CPTSD, someone who is willing to take some sort of accountability, take responsibility, willingness to work on themselves. This is what we long for in an ideal relationship, someone who is willing to compromise and to work with you and to work on themselves and the relationship, to be listened to actually be listened to. And this doesn't really happen. It doesn't really happen when you're talking with your BPD ex. It just hurts all the more when they just keep saying things that were your fault. And you know what? We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. We're human. We often find dating someone who has a personality disorder, we end up doing things that are out of character for ourselves. So we're already carrying an amount of guilt anyway. And then you ask someone with BPD, your BPD ex, what did I do wrong? The guilt's going to be 10 times worse, 100 times worse if you believe everything that they say. It takes two to tango. So the point I'm making is that it's normal, absolutely normal, to be asking yourself, what could I have done differently? What could I have done better? Did I do something wrong? Especially if, you are the one who was dumped and your partner was the one who moved on. And you can consider yourself quite fortunate if you are able to sit down and have a conversation with your now ex about, things you could have done better. But this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen with someone with BPD. It is really frustrating when you just want to know. You want to know what happened. Why did it go from, 0 to inferno? What happened? Why did I go from being adored to being hated? It's natural to think, well, maybe it's me. Bear in mind that their memories tend to be a bit malleable. They tend to fabricate things that didn't actually happen. They will minimize the good times and they will exaggerate the bad times. You have no control over this. You could go back into the past and you can do everything that they would want you to do, and it still wouldn't be enough. It's the nature of the personality disorder, having an external locus of control, meaning that it's always someone else's fault. This is why I'm this way. Okay, if you're a child, that's understandable. Your environment is out of your control as a child, but you're an adult now. And as an adult, you should be taking some responsibility for how you are. But no, the inner life of someone with BPD is psychologically, they're stuck. They haven't been able to mature into more mature defense mechanisms. They haven't been able to develop maturely so that when dealing with confrontation, instead of just automatically deflecting and blaming you, or projecting onto you, or displacing their feelings onto you, ideally we want someone you can pause. And, it's painful to bear that I had a role to play in the demise of this relationship. I'm not as amazing as I thought I was. There's some learning that I need to do. It's a painful lesson, but a mature person is able to sit with this and at least take some modicum of responsibility and use this to improve themselves, to improve future relationships. But this doesn't happen with someone with BPD. It doesn't. Maybe if they're having regular therapy and they're at that stage where they have and they're able to better sit with their emotions and to be able to consider that maybe they have a role to play in this. They can take accountability. It's hard, but they're getting there. But for all the people who I'm helping with my counseling, their partners are just nowhere near there yet. So asking someone who is nowhere near yet able to take accountability, what did I do wrong? You're asking for trouble. You really are. Because whatever they say you did wrong, even if you were to go back in time and do all those things, it still wouldn't be enough. You're not in control of how they're thinking and feeling. They have a very distorted sense of reality. So you're not going to get the answers that will help you. They won't be helpful ideas. It's painful to keep asking someone who sees you as a persecutor, what did I do wrong? Because they will tell you what you did wrong and it may not even be true. Okay? They tend to fabricate, tend to exaggerate, they lie. If you believe that you can get closure, and if you think it's worthwhile asking, then go ahead. But bear in mind that you may not get the answers that you hope for. And this often is sadly the case when you're trying to get closure with someone with BPD. In fact, I don't believe you ever get closure really, because you will forever be the persecutor. And the reason why is because in the world of someone who has an external locus of control, there's the victim, there's the rescuer, and there's the perpetrator. 3 people. So when you met, you became the rescuer. You rescued them out of their inner misery. And then over time, somehow, somewhere, you become the perpetrator. Go from rescuer to perpetrator. And this is out of your control. This will happen with anyone who's in their life. People with serious BPD don't often tend to have long friendships. They don't have long relationships because they're living in fantasy land. They have an idealized image of what they want their friend to be, what they want their partner to be. And after time, when they realize that, people make mistakes, people aren't perfect. No one can live up to anyone's expectations, at least 100% of the time. They'll come off the pedestal and they'll get ditched. They'll get blamed. They become the persecutor. And then they meet someone new. This new person is the rescuer and you're their ex who's the persecutor. And it's horrible. It's horrible when you haven't really done anything wrong. Okay? I mean, we make mistakes. We mess up. Perhaps you did things in this relationship you wouldn't normally do. You were tried. You were tested. Perhaps you're feeling a bit shitty about that. Bring this up to someone with BPD. They will hang it over your head. They will rub it in your face. Yes, I know you did this wrong. They won't use this as an opportunity to be like, actually, you know what? You're not fully to blame. I had my part to play in it. Doesn't happen that way. Instead, they will literally take your head and put it in that shit and be like, yeah, you did this, didn't you? Yeah, you are to blame. Yeah, you should be feeling bad. Yeah, you should be. It's horrible. Don't do this to yourself. So, how do I resolve this? Is another question I get asked. How do I move on and get the answers when I'm not going to get the answers from my BPDX? Self-belief, as I say in many of my videos, is very powerful. It's healing. And it comes with you. It starts with you. To believe in yourself when he or she thinks the worst of you. And it's horrible. It is horrible to be so misunderstood. It provokes in us the need to want to prove to them, I'm not like this. You've got the wrong idea. I'm not like this at all. It won't matter. For someone who fears engulfment, this will likely make it worse. They will keep seeing you as a persecutor who keeps pushing, and they will just find other people to complain about you. You're not going to get the answers that you want at this stage that he or she currently is at. This is different down the line when they've had therapy, they have more of an awareness, they're able to take responsibility of some sorts. But until that happens, you're not going to get the answers that you want. Instead, you need to look within yourself. Build a support network around you of people that you trust. Okay, trust is important. When your BPDX says, I've lost my trust because of you, I can't trust because of you anymore, Bear in mind that someone with BPD has had trust issues since childhood, okay? It did not start with you, and it will not end with you. If you're to take anything from this, take this. Their trust, the way that they trust people stems from childhood with their own ambivalent parenting, from their own trauma. They're unable to trust because they were unable to trust their caregivers, their mum, their dad, whoever it was in their life. So this has been going on for so many years. It's not a valid excuse, I can't trust because of you anymore. That's not to say that you didn't have a part to play in this. It's a very sobering and painful experience when coming out of a relationship with someone personality disordered, because we act in ways which we don't like. We see a side of ourselves we don't like. We resolve this by addressing it. Okay, why did I tolerate this behavior? Why was I acting this way? I don't normally act this way in relationships. Why did I act this way now? What has this brought up for me as a result? What can I do differently now so that I'm not involved with people like this anymore? That I can spot people like this better? Why am I tolerating their behaviors? These are all questions which are good questions to ask yourself. And ideally, we need to not come from a place of shaming ourselves. So this is why it's important to not get into dialogue with your BPD ex about what you did wrong. Because if you want to work on feelings of shame, going to your BPD partner, your BPD ex, it's not going to help. It's going to make it worse. However, these are just my opinions. You know, I don't know everything, and every case is different. Every relationship is different. So please share with me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Share with me your advice. And if you can relate and you're in this situation and you're finding it really difficult, know that I provide online counselling to help specifically with this. So drop me an email. My email address is melanieprsvp@gmail.com. Also, I don't have a website at the moment. I used to, but I'm massively busy at the moment, so I don't really have time to update my website. So if you want to find out more, if you want to ask me questions, just directly email me. It's a lot easier. And yeah, leave it at that. So all right, I hope you're having a good day, and until next time, take care for now. Bye bye.